The first 14 seconds is already a view.
That's not what we care about.
Yes, it is.
Hi guys, I'm Vivian.
And I'm Grace.
And today we're going to be filming a review / comparison of MagicTail.de
and Fun Mermaid.
So, disclaimer at the beginning, this might be a very long and lengthy video, our apologies, but we just have a lot we want to say about both of the tails. So we're going to start with a little background information. I ordered the H2O Magic Tail in March of 2016. It was about $200 US, and it is a German-based company, and so that did require international shipping, but it actually arrived in 3 days, which I was very surprised about. And it did come with the matching bikini, top and bottom.
So I got mine off of funmermaid.com. I chose this beautiful pink color. I got mine in October of 2016, so a bit over 6 months ago. Mine was about $115 US, but I did not buy the swimsuit because it would have cost me an extra $40. The shipping came in about 5 days, so I thought that was really good for shipping.
So now we're going to talk about the overall look of the tails and just the appearance. So my favorite thing about this tail is its appearance because it is just so beautiful. We can insert a more close-up clip of both of the tails at the end of the video just to show how pretty that they are. But one of the things I love a lot about this tail is it has a dorsal fin on the back, which is something that Fun Mermaid does not have. And it just adds depth to the tail and makes it more like mermaidy. I also really love these tips for some reason because they just look beautiful in the water. Some downsides to the appearance though is that the fabric, the tail skin, is very see-through and almost sheer, and so you really should wear the matching bottoms that you get with the tail or buy a bikini set that is the same color as your tail because they are very see-through, and that's kind of a con.
For mine, it is this beautiful pink color. My fin, as you might be able to tell, it has like fake water bubbles on it, which in the water it doesn't show up, but if you're just looking at it, it's kind of a con because they're trying to create this 3D effect, but it kind of just looks all smeared in my opinion. Another thing I would say is, as you can see at like the top of the tail, there's this giant gap, which is so that you can put on the skin obviously, but you can also see that it's kind of like loose, and sometimes in the water you can see the monofin through that, so that's a bit annoying, but I love this color. It looks so beautiful in the water, and the only other color I would have bought would be green, but I'm happy that I got this one.
Yeah, just adding on to the thing about the monofin gap, MagicTail does have one too, but it is a little bit closer together, and it's simply for safety reasons, so that it's easier to take the monofin out, which looks like this, but we'll get to the monofins later. So it is safety precaution, but yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but it's not too terrible on either of the tails. So now we're going to talk about durability. I've had my tail for over a year now, and I'm really surprised at how durable it is. There's hardly any scratches or anything on the tail skin. There is a tear in the monofin, which I will get to later, but they have recently come out with a new monofin, so it doesn't really apply if you're looking to purchase a MagicTail now. But yeah, the tail tips, that was one of my biggest concerns, was that they would rub against the pool, and I have been really careful about not rubbing before or anything, but they've stayed really strong. There is a bit of fading, which you'll probably be able to see more in depth when we film the closer up of the tail skins at the end of the video. But there are basically no holes, maybe one tiny hole, and a little bit of fading as you're going to get with any fabric tail, but it's really durable, and I'm really surprised.
As for mine, like I said earlier, I've had it for a bit over 6 months, and in the tips there is a bit of pilling and fraying, but as Vivian said, that is as to be expected. Mine is actually very durable. I'm very pleased with it, and yeah, there's not much else I have to say.
And Fun did recently come up with this thing. They have padded tips or something, so they're reinforced. So if you're looking to buy a Fun tail the tips will be reinforced with a 60-day warranty. So there won't be any of that like pilling and stuff, which is really nice, and I wish they'd come out with it just a little sooner. Now we're going to talk about comfort. I don't have much to say regarding comfort. Mine's just pretty comfortable. It is heavy. The monofin is very, very heavy, but it doesn't hurt. I haven't gotten any like rashes or any red marks or anything like that from the tail, which I see that some people do get. Not from Magitail, but just in general with mermaid tails. But yeah, mine's really comfortable. The tail skin is basically just like swimsuit material, and it's really, the sizes, I could easily have I got a medium because it's a German sizing, but I could have easily gotten a small because of how flexible the material is. It fits really, really, really well. So it's really comfortable. There's not much else to say.
For mine, I'd say it's pretty comfortable too. I mean, it kind of just feels like you're wearing leggings, like the leg part, or some tights. But as you can see on my monofin, this is the foot part where you insert your foot, and this part is very comfortable. Like, it's stretchy and it does not hurt for me to get on at all. So that is a bonus.
And something nice about her monofin is it's made out of, like, I think it's neoprene. It's the same stuff as wetsuits are made out of, so it's like super, super comfortable. And her monofin's so comfortable. This monofin does fit the Magitail's tail skin, but just because of how see-through this tail skin is, you can see the black monofin through the tail skin, so I can't really wear a Fun monofin with this on, unfortunately. But I kind of wish I could, just because of how comfortable it is. It's really comfortable, and it's a lot lighter, even though I do love this monofin. Speaking of monofins, we're going to talk about the monofins now. So the Magitail one looks like this. They have recently come out with a new one, which looks similar to Fun, but this is the one that I have. It's very thin. It's surprisingly lighter than this monofin if you're just holding them, but in the water it gets a lot more weighed down, and it is a lot heavier and more difficult to use. But I personally like it because with one stroke of, like, one push of the fin, you can get very, very far, which is very nice. It feels more professional almost than this one does, but I wish I could try out their new monofin just because that looks like super cool, and it looks kind of similar to Fun, and I'd like to see if they got it any lighter, because with this material it is very, very heavy, which is kind of unfortunate, but at the same time it does help you propel through the water, and I really do like it.
As for my monofin, I have the Fun Pro. There's also a smaller size, which is the Fun Junior. I am taller than that, I guess you could say, so I decided to get the Fun Pro. I love my monofin. Like, it's great. It's very light. It flows in the water super easily. And like I was saying earlier, the ankle cuffs, it's super easy to slide in. My monofin actually has a slit in the top, so you can like see my monofin. It's made out of this thick plastic material, and it's kind of hard to get off this cover, but okay. So here's my actual monofin. As you can see, it's very thin and flexible.
So is this one.
Yeah. And I just love it. One thing I would say is for the feet, like, there's no size. Your feet could be as big as like super huge from here to here, even, because like it's just
with hers, it's like a whole pocket, so it's really one size fits all. Whereas with Magitail, your feet do end like right here. So if my feet were any bigger, I would have to get the larger size monofin. And something I forgot to mention is this does not have the ankle socks, but it is still very comfortable, and I actually kind of prefer it because her monofin has this like safety feature thing, which I'll let her tell you about. But mine doesn't have that because it doesn't have these cuffs, and I really prefer not having the cuffs actually. And this is just like super comfortable, but I think the new Magitail does have cuffs.
So the emergency feature that she mentioned is obviously for safety. When you are swimming and you have your feet in the monofin, obviously, if you have too much of a thrust, I guess you could say, like a very powerful kick, oftentimes my foot will pop out of this, because the emergency feature is if one of your feet just pushes against the monofin, it will release, and like you can push the other one out in case you need to quickly escape your monofin
To prevent drowning.
But that's kind of a downside.
It's mostly just because Fin Fun is more geared toward kids, like younger kids, like her, which is good. But I used her monofin once and it did come out, so that's a little like note you should know.
Can you get this back on?
Yeah.
It's really hard to get out.
Yeah, you really only take it off if you're gonna wash it.
Yeah.
Which, have you ever done?
Yeah, once, but it took me literally like half an hour to get both of the tips back on.
I've never washed mine, just because we've only swam in it in our grandma's saltwater pool, so there's no chlorine.
After 12 years.
Okay, so we're going to end this video with a little bit of a conclusion, but before we do, I do want to mention something I said earlier about my monofin is that it does have a rip in it, which I forgot to say when I was talking about monofins. It is a little rip here. It doesn't affect any of the swimming because it's luckily only on the side and not like at the feet area, but it happened fairly quickly after. Luckily, the monofins are newer, like I've been saying, so it doesn't really apply to anyone looking for Magic Tail right now, but it is a bit of a downside. You can buy the monofins individually, which I might consider doing because the new Magic Tail seems similar to Fin Fun, and I think that'd be interesting to be able to have a Magic Tail with a monofin that's new and improved. So now we're going to talk about the conclusion. We're going to start off with price again. So this was $200, like we said earlier, and this one was $115. If you add the bikini, it adds up roughly $40 more, which makes for $155, which is still $45 cheaper. So this tail is definitely more affordable than Magic Tail.
I would say mine is a lot more kid-friendly though, because it does have the safety feature that we mentioned earlier, and it's just overall a lot easier to swim in than her tail.
This is definitely for more experienced swimmers or people in the market for a second tail. I did start off with this as my first, so you can have this as your first tail, but and adults can have this one. It's not like only adults can have this, only kids can have that. It's just about your confidence in swimming and your overall ability. I would give my tail about a 4.5 out of 5 as a rating. Only 0.5 off simply because of the monofin tearing and being a little heavy, but they have recently come out with a new one, so that will no longer be an issue if you're looking for a tail now, like I've said before. I also want to mention that Magic Tail has come out with self-made tails, so you can draw in your own mermaid tail design on a template, and they will print it out for you, and so you can have your own unique tail and not buy one of the pre-made designs, which I think is really, really, really cool. It is a little bit more expensive, but the tail prices have actually lowered recently, which I wish could have happened like a year and a half ago, but if you're in the market for one now, they are cheaper than $200.
As for mine, I'd give it about a 4.3 or 4.2, just because I'm not a huge fan of like the water effect on the tail, but they do have other flukes that have different patterns. But yeah, there's not much that I would have to say about my tail that's negative. Overall, I think it's very gorgeous and I really love it.
Yeah, it's funny because her rating's lowered for appearance of the tail skin and mine's lowered for monofin. So if you could get a Fin Fun monofin and this kind of tail skin without it being so sheer, that'd be a 5. But they did come up with a new monofin which looks similar, so like I've said like 5 times. But that's definitely something worth trying and worth mentioning. So yeah, both are very, very, very good tails. I would recommend either of them to anyone. Yeah. before I had a mermaid tail, I don't think I had all my expectations were met, exceeded.
Yeah.
It's really fun, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And
the last thing we'd like to say is be sure to stay tuned on this channel and subscribe, because we will be having a show. Basically, we're just going to be, it's like we're mermaids in the show. It's kind of like H2O, but a lot different. So be sure to stay tuned for that.
It's not really inspired by H2O, because there are a lot of mermaid shows on YouTube, but we wanted ours to be different and not like the same as H2O, so it is different. And we're very excited to post it and to show it to you guys. Hopefully it will be sometime this summer. We're waiting on our uncle to give us this waterproof camera, Tom. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Please subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions about either of the tales. We will answer them all. Yeah, bye.
Thanks for watching. There can be a lot of bloopers.
I'm just gonna delete the footage. Okay. Experience swimmers.
There's cupcake in my
And then maybe we should just swap tails.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Hi.
Okay, we should go good. Hi guys, I'm doing.
And I'm Grace.
I got a matching bikini top and bottom. I got
one that was purple.
I got a black one. Okay, magic tail from Magic Tail. Tail. I was able to.
Okay.
I mean, no, it's the opposite. Okay. What?
You're talking about my tail.
Takes. Lots of takes. Okay.